tuned into the game.
We are the gentlemen advance the melanin evolution.
Welcome to another edition of the Game Recognized Game podcast with RLJ and Kev. I'm your DJ KEV, and that is our resident life coach and host with the most, RLJ. And together we are the gentlemen advancing the melanin evolution. Revolution. It's revolution. Yo, Brother J, man, I want to thank you, man.
What's up, man?
Nah, man, I just appreciate, you know, a lot of my family is like my blood relatives or whatever. They spread out all across the country, right? So I ain't really got no place to go on like holidays or no place I really want to go. Like, oh, I need to go here to, you know, because all the people that I really was rocking with, they ain't here no more in terms of like my family. But, you know, I got my cousins and things. But, you know, we savages, man. We ain't doing right by our grandparents. So I ain't gonna put it all on like we ain't had an upbringing. I think part of it is we just lazy. But I just appreciate the fact that, man, when the holiday seasons come around, if it's Easter, just hanging out, man, you just welcome me with open arms, man, and just give me an opportunity to just travel up and kick it with you and Mama J, man, and just have a good time, man. And so I just want to thank you for the invite.
Yes, sir, man.
Between the oh man, the tenderloin that you smoke, man. Put your thing on that thing, boy. And then that caramel cake, man. That joke was crack, man. Then listen to Mama J. She telling stories, man. Mama J was like the Nino Brown of baked goods, man. She had like, god damn, man. God damn, man. She had Southeast West Virginia on lock with the baked goods. with the baked goods, man. Yo, bruh. Like, nah, man, like, yo, you ever listen to your parents, right? And they talk like you don't necessarily remember an event the way they remember an event. Fair. But then like the older you get and the more like you kind of actually listen about what they recollect of the event, man, and they like spitting all these different facts and details, and it make you question like who your parents were before you got here. You know what I'm saying? Yo, that's how Mama J was talking, man. Mama J was talking.
She was moving
like she was moving product and whipping that work, man. and if the weight was off, it was gonna be a problem with Mama J, man. Like, you kind of just sit there. You know how you talk to like one of your OG uncles or something, man, and he like real saved. He like a deacon in the church now, whatever, man. But he'll talk about something like, yeah, man, such and such, man, owed me for an 8-ball. I said, 8-ball? What you talking about? And he say, no, back in the day, I wasn't always who I was now, who I am now. And they got this story. They got this story about who they were, and it's like they just drop gems. Like, damn, man, you used to be different one day. It was like one day, like you used to be somebody else before you became who you were, man. And so, like, it just be funny to me because the way Mama J was talking was like she was like Griselda Blanco, and she was running pound cake out the trap house, bro. And so that joint just brought joy to my heart, man. I just appreciate the invite, man. It just like, yo, just let me be part of the family, man.
Absolutely, my man. Absolutely.
She made me an Easter basket, man. It was dope. It was dope, man, because it's like, damn, man, I ain't really get Easter baskets like that back in the day. It's like, you grown now. It's like, damn, man, Easter basket with a lot of little chocolates and candy. Put a smile on your face, man.
It's the simple pleasures in life, brother.
That's it, bro. So nah, man. So I just wanted to one shout you out publicly, man. Though the event was private, man. It just brought joy to my heart just to kick it, man. And it's always a good time, just fellowshipping and building. So
anytime, brother. Anytime. Any and every time.
Yeah, man. I definitely appreciate that, man. But spring is amongst us, man. I'm going through probably about a bottle and a half of Flonase every 15 days or so.
Bro, that shit started in February where I was like, why do I have to take this so often?
Yo, bro, what they say? what they say, April showers bring May flowers,
Bring
man.
May
I ain't
flowers.
seen nothing but yellow cake on my car
Bruh.
for 2 weeks. Yellow cake, man. And you know, shout out to Jackie Robinson, man. Jackie Robinson Day, April 15th, man. April 15th, 1947, man. That's when Jackie Robinson, his first season in the major leagues when it started, man. So, you know, shout out to Jackie Robinson. So I like April, man, but I don't like the pollen, bro. I don't like the pollen. And you know, I'm a knucklehead, so I think I don't really need to take allergy medicine.
Fair.
Like I don't need Zyrtec, blah 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 blah. And then you go without it, right? And then you got to double up. You got to double up on the Benadryl because now you got the post nasal. You can't sleep, and
All
then
the
you got to
things.
get back on the habit, man. And you got to do the flow. You got to do all that stuff, man. I'm thinking neti pots, man. I'm thinking the little pump you put on your nose and get all that stuff out, man.
All the
like
things.
I hate this time of year. I love it because it's like nature. You know, the flowers are blooming. But man, I hate it because boy, Mother Nature and my respiratory system.
Once it's once it like there's a once this transitionary or transitional period dies down, my allergies will probably simmer down a little bit. It's still gonna be out there. It's not gonna be as bad, but
That's real.
My body it's confused because this shit don't typically start till like late March. This shit started in January this year when we was having 70 and 80 degree weather in January.
Yeah. And it kind of kept on too, man. Like it's crazy. You know, it was 85 last week. It's 69 today. Still in that in-between phase.
Yep.
Damn, man, they say man's supposed to be one with nature. I know they had allergies back in the day. I know
Probably not.
They say nah.
Nah. I don't think
How we get it then? How we get how do we all of a sudden get allergies and now like the medicine behind it is a multi-billion-dollar business? Like did the man create allergies, Brother Jay, to get us hooked on Allegra and Zyrtec?
Bro, I don't know.
Claritin.
I don't know, because
Crack.
back in the day, the only thing people was taking for allergies was Benadryl.
Yeah.
And now, like you said, there's so many different varieties and variations of antihistamines. I don't know where it came from. But I was sitting here thinking, when I worked the educational program, we had a pink sheet. And the pink sheet was the med list. So out of 380 some students at this conference for the week, we had about 92 of them on the pink sheet. This was the highest that we had on the pink sheet. Bro, my anxiety was high. And this was in the briefing meeting. The students were set to arrive within about 3 hours. I keep turning. I was like, hey, I think y'all gave me more than one pink sheet. They was like, no, this is the high alert session. What the hell does that mean, bro? Internally, I was panicking, screaming. I'm going through some of the symptoms or some of the medical issues that some of the students had. And I'm just like, yo, where? I don't remember. Like, we had to, the venue that we were at, they had to remove any type of peanut butter or peanut candy or snack out of the machine.
Of the allergens. Wow.
It was so severe. Like, if you were in a room and somebody opens a Nut Rages. You remember the Reese's Nut Rages? And they can get a smell of it.
Yeah.
They would have a reaction. I was like, well, they need, in my head, this was rude. I was like, this sounds like they need to stay home. Like, we're going in public places.
Yeah.
We can't shut down union.
Damn, you definitely, you couldn't even walk in the Five Guys, I guess.
At all,
man.
right? Yeah. Like,
that's the Five Guys thing, the peanut oil.
Yeah.
We
can't go to Union Station and tell everybody they got to get rid of the, like, how are we supposed to do all this? It's like, whatever. But some of the stuff that was there, my colleagues and I was like, yo, did any of this shit exist when we were kids? Like, I do not remember them telling us we couldn't have any type of or specific candy because someone was allergic to it.
Bro, I don't remember nothing, man. I don't remember nothing about nobody with allergies,
No,
food
like
allergies,
we was out here
or
living,
nothing.
eating whatever we wanted to. Somebody brought it, you took it home, and blah blah blah, and kept it moving. Like someone was allergic to red 40 dye. Do
Mm.
you know how many things contain red 40 dye?
Yeah, yeah. Now the
Nigga.
red 40 dye, is that the dye that they was talking about that's in like the hot flaming Cheetos? It was like, nah, you can't ingest it because that like do something to you too.
I don't even know. All I
Yeah.
know is it caused me to start looking at stuff. So I see the kid snacking on something. I'm snatching shit and smacking it out of his hand. I was like, hey, oh, my bad, bro. You can eat this. This is good. I was like,
Yo, you look, I'm just trying not to get in a lawsuit,
hey,
but
bro.
I'm here so I won't get fined.
One of the students' names, I was like, hey, student A, he about to be fasting all week. We not doing this. Like snack time,
Wow.
ice cream. Had to make sure it wasn't made in a factory that could have potentially come in contact with. It was a lot, and I was like, I do not remember anyone, as any of my childhood friends, anyone in my classrooms having symptoms or issues like this. I don't remember, and it could be that they just didn't let us know as children. But it's to the point now where it's like, well, such and such can't have this. They gotta have the blue tray when everyone else has the white tray. None of that. I'm just like, this is.
I don't know, man. I think I missed that part, like especially when my son was little. Now I can eat whatever, but well, he never really had like crazy food allergies. There was certain things that he might eat and it might affect his skin or whatever. But it was never nothing like, damn, we can't go nowhere, we can't eat nothing. You know what I'm saying? And he was never really a crazy picky eater. You know, but I know like people who got kids now, man, they like, yo, they kids can't do nothing. I mean, eat nothing.
Yeah, and there's allergies, then there's aversions, right? And so,
Yeah.
or you become intolerant over certain things. And one of my homeboys said, he's a doctor. He was like, you are growing like you have a food intolerance because of the things that they're putting in the product or how it's processed, right? Like if the cow eats certain things and then they get milk from that cow that has eaten certain things, like now the milk potentially has remnants of what the cow ate.
Yo, bro, you just said some wild stuff, right? Because I was just watching a news report and they were talking about plastics in the Pacific Ocean. And they were saying like it's certain parts of the Pacific Ocean that it's so much fucking like plastic in the water that the damn animals and the fish around it have created like this ecosystem environment with plastic in the water. And the problem is when the ecosystems merge and the fish and the plastic finally breaks down, the fish eat particles that contain the plastic, then we eat the fish, then we therefore eating the plastic that we are putting in the water.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like that's what you're describing right there.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, we killing ourselves by how we treating like the earth and the environment.
It's the circle of life, bro. And it's not just with people,
that's
right?
A fucked up circle then, man.
It's a circle of life. And it's weird, but like a lot of these things, they didn't exist back in the day, or they weren't as prevalent because of different environmental conditions. And now things are being injected and introduced and processed differently. And it's through the manufacturing that individuals are becoming, coming in contact with things that's causing irritability within the gastro tract. It's crazy,
yo, bro. But the thing, I guess, what you really describing is like our commitment to tradition is probably going to be the detriment of us, because our commitment to tradition essentially creates a new tradition and a new reality that we don't want to deal with. So let's just look at the environment for an example, right? you know, you're talking about, all right, we eat certain animals that ingest certain things, and then I mean, shit, we become our own worst enemy.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we keep fucking up the environment, and then we're putting all the toxins in the environment and plastic in the environment and debris in the environment and things that will kill the environment and cause global warming and cause the ecosystem of the earth to be off balance, and it's all man-made. It's all man-made.
Yep.
However, because we say, well, yo, we've always consumed this much trash and this much waste. We've always produced this much waste. We've always lived beyond our means. We've always we've always eaten food that was bad for us. We've always been able to smoke indoors. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm saying that like tongue in cheek. Like we've all like you're so married to tradition that it's that commitment to tradition that you're causing a new reality or a new tradition that's at our detriment.
Well, when you say the word tradition, you really got to think about it. That tradition is basically, when you're forcing people to follow tradition, you're forcing people to follow something that was set forth by someone that is no longer with us. So you are being ruled by dead people. This is what we do. We always got to go here. Why do we always got to go here? We got to have this for, well, we got to have this for Easter. Why do we have to have this for Easter? Well, you got to have this for Thanksgiving. Why? We're just perpetuating this cycle of tradition. And sometimes we don't understand or we're not aware. Yeah. We're not aware that tradition is preventing us from living our best life. Tradition is creating these fake rules and boundaries and walls and borders that we are subscribing to. And we're creating windows so we can see outside of tradition. And we're longing for the things that's on the other side of tradition because the tradition is no longer serving us. But
you see cracks in the tradition.
Yeah, but the issue is people are very selective about which tradition they uphold. Because some are easier to break away than others. Well, I thought you were, yeah, but, well, we're not eating pork anymore. We stopped eating pork, so we no longer have ham for Christmas. So we started doing this. Okay. Well, why do we have to do this? Well, because you're always supposed to have a turkey for Thanksgiving. What if someone's allergic to turkey? Right? It's easy to break tradition when you are negatively impacted from it. But it's harder if it's not necessarily.
It's like joining a new church. You know what? Pastor was talking about my shoes. You know what? I'm going down the street. That's why people going down the street now.
It's easy to break away from things. It's easy and convenient to break away from things.
But was it tradition in the first place?
Exactly.
Yeah, I see what you said.
So
when you did there.
Even with my coaching clients, I will ask, like, we'll talk about traditional gender roles within the house. I'm like, well, why? Someone was like, yeah. One of the women said, she says, yeah, I don't touch the trash. I said, so if your husband is out of town on business for a week, what happens to the trash?
When he get back, that house gonna be funky as hell.
Then she looked at me like, well, you know what I meant. I was like, no, let's be real.
When he get back, the house gonna smell rotten.
Horrible. I said, so do you take it out when he's not there? Yes. I said, so what makes you think in your head that if you walk past a trash can and it's full and you're not doing anything to prevent you from emptying it, what goes off in your head to say, oh no, I don't do that? Well, that's just not my job. Did you all outline the roles and responsibilities of the house?
Mm-hmm.
Because in one point, it's a partnership, because your husband makes a lot of money, and now it's what we spend this and we do this because you're reaping benefits. Now it's us.
No, and the trash thinking is him.
Now when it's something that you don't want to do, now we have gender roles. Now it's no longer a partnership.
That's a man's job.
Tradition gets real broken.
Ooh.
When it's not convenient, or I'm not the beneficiary.
So you say people subscribe to tradition based on convenience.
Yeah.
Versus based on, kind of the historical meaning or significance behind family traditions. You say motherfuckers subscribe to traditions because it's either some shit they want to do or some shit they don't.
Well, I always ask this question and people laugh at me. I'll use an example of let's say in your house you were studying, or when you did homework, you listened to classical music. And so now as we're having a conversation, I ask you, you're telling me about classical music. And I say, oh, do you like classical music? You say, yes. And I say, why? And typically the response is, oh, well, as a kid, when I was doing homework, that's what, I was forced to listen to classical music because it helped stimulate the brain and it helped blah, blah, blah. And I just took a liking to it. So then I asked the question, is it that you really like classical music, or were you just conditioned and you were just constantly exposed to it? Did you make up in your mind and discover classical music by yourself and say, oh, I like this? Or were you exposed to it, forced to experience it, and now you just adapted as a part of your experience and environment?
Because it was there.
Because it's there.
Yeah. That's interesting, brother Jay.
Like if you grow up in a house full of dogs, or everybody in your family has a dog as a pet, do you automatically have an aversion to cats? Do you really like dogs?
Not like cats?
Do you really like dogs, or were they just always around? And so now you go get a dog because growing up there was always a dog around. And it's not that you really like dogs; it's just that they're just supposed to be here because they've always been here. So when I ask my clients that, well, why do you like this? And they just look at me. Because we're getting to the point now, Kev, where we are too old to keep saying because, or that's what it's supposed to be, or you're just supposed to do this, or that's how it's always been. We've outgrown that phase to where we just, because I said so, right?
Yo, well, so let me throw a scenario out there for you, brother Jay.
Go for it.
Because you said you're dropping a lot of gems, but I really do think, like, I still think mofos pick and choose, even within that context of what it is that they want to subscribe to based on how they can position their own interests. Right? So I got a friend. Friend meets a woman, event, and he says they exchange information, blah, 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 whoop-de-whoop, whoop-de-whoop. They talk for maybe 2 days, text message mostly. And so then, like 2 or 3 days go by, they don't hear from each other. Says the woman hit my boy up. It's like, yo, I ain't heard from you in a couple of days. Should I assume that you're not interested in me? Homeboy's like, nah, not even part of the equation. I just figured you was busy. So she responds, well, I believe in courting. I believe it's a man's role to court, to show interest in a woman and reach out and engage and initiate the communication. What my homeboy didn't tell me till after the fact was, yo, the woman was living with her husband. Well, I'm sorry. Let me clean that up a little bit. Her ex-husband say that they were sleeping on one side of the house and the other side of the house. Now, I don't know how big the house was, based on the location they were into the mid-Atlantic region of the country.
So
I'm not
wait,
sure how big the house was.
I need to make sure I'm following.
Yeah. So my
wait,
homeboy,
hold on. I need to check for clarity. So Shorty trying to holler at him.
Holler.
Is basically saying
you ain't hollering enough.
The man is the one that's supposed to do the court.
The man's supposed to start the hollering.
Yeah, and continue and be consistent in it.
Yes,
because that's traditionally what
tradition.
But
tradition.
They're living in the house with their former spouse.
I would say that would be non-traditional, or in higher ed terms, post-traditional. Not the crickets. So my question is, like, I mean, like, do people really take tradition serious? Like, the courting thing it's like, yo, you get on my man for courting or not talking. Like, if y'all was talking real deep, and maybe it was over the course of 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or whatever, then you ain't hear nothing from him at all. But y'all just meet and y'all talk for a couple of days, and you say, hey, I got a little situation right now. I'm living with my ex-husband. He on one side of the house, I'm on the other side of the house. However, I believe that it's your job as a man to court me in a unconventional, non-traditional situation. At what point is it tradition, or at what point is it just some shit that niggas make excuses for because they don't want to adapt? This shit is weird to me, man.
So,
like, on one end, you can't say, yo, you want somebody to court, and on the other end, you got like a whole live-in. I'm confused, B. I don't know, man. What say you, man? I don't know.
This goes back to, okay, so I don't want to make assumptions about why they are still in the house with their spouse.
Yeah, because I mean, shit, man. Economics, whatever.
It's 2023.
But I get it, bro.
Whatever the situation is.
I get it. Trust me, I get it. But it's like, yo, a nigga really can't have too many demands.
You can't throw stones in a glass house, right? This is one of those situations where it was like, I can't really make demands of someone or hold someone to traditional standards if I'm out here still living with my ex-husband.
Why you say that?
Because I wanted.
Why you just make the emoji face? You know, the side-eye emoji?
That's because
why you just make the side-eye emoji?
I'm processing it, and when I said it out loud, it vexed my spirit. Like, you still living with your ex-husband,
but you want to be courted,
and then you finna hold me to a certain standard,
bro. Like,
there's gonna have to be some give here. But then, but once again, tradition goes out the window when I'm not benefiting from this. Because traditionally, divorce means we go our separate ways. But if this
let's just kiss and say goodbye.
And that's what's supposed to happen. But if this is, I'm benefiting from staying connected, right? I ain't got to pay this mortgage by myself. I ain't got to do the utilities, whatever the arrangement is, right? I don't want to make assumptions, but I'm benefiting from not going with this tradition. But in other areas where I'm going to be the beneficiary, right? I'm enforcing tradition. You got to do this and you got to do this because I'm receiving this.
Yeah.
So it all depends on where the benefit lies. If I'm the benefit, then yeah, we're going to follow tradition. If I'm if I'm not benefiting from tradition, then we're going to move it or change it so that I am benefiting, and we're going to throw tradition out the way. Like, we're not going to have turkey anymore for Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's convenient for me not to have turkey.
Yeah, man. I think people move the goalposts with their perspective on tradition.
No, they don't move the goalposts. They change the rules.
Yeah.
I remember one of my clients would tell me they couldn't, they weren't going to bring a baby into the world if they weren't married.
Respect.
I said, okay. And I left it alone. I didn't say any more. But then there's all these other things that they were willing to do. And I was like, let's revisit this thing. So I said, so you want a child? They said, yes. But one of your requirements is that you want to be married first. Yes. Okay. But you're not putting yourself in a position to be in a healthy relationship to where marriage can be a goal or an accomplishment. You're delaying ultimately what you want, which is a child. And there are individuals out here who say, yeah, I don't want to be married with you, but you're pretty dope. We could raise a kid together. Let's co-parent. Because some people say, yo, I just don't want to be married.
That's real.
And for whatever reason that they have, cool. Some people it works. For some people it doesn't. I know individuals that's been together years and have not even spoken about marriage. They've talked about it like, you know what? They've seen people, and this was the conversation they've had. They was like, yo, we've seen people change as soon as they got married. We got a house together. Both of our names is on it. We buying stuff together. We got kids, family.
Tradition.
Everything is good, right?
Tradition.
But according to everybody else, oh, well, you're not supposed to do this before, blah, 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 blah. And I remember... I was at my friend's family cookout, and his sister, I was real good friends with his sister. So we're all sitting around. His sister is pregnant. And so one of the old aunts came up, and she just had negative energy. She said, well, you know, you're not supposed to be sleeping around until you're not supposed to be sleeping with men until you're married. And so you having a baby, blah, 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 and was going off. And she said, yeah, and your husband was
she drinking?
She wasn't.
Oh, Lord.
She wasn't. And she goes, yeah, and Aunt such and such wasn't supposed to sit on your husband's face, but here we are. Nigga. I said, what? Where am I?
Amen.
Everybody got quiet. Her mother was getting ready to run and save her, but at this point, it was just like, well,
too late.
What I'm gonna say, because it's the truth.
Yeah, that was the line. Because
basically, she was coming to say, well, hold on, you out of line talking to my child like that, and then they're looking at her like, you gonna get your child for? She was like, nah, you approached her wrong.
Yeah, you asked for it. Tradition.
She said, but here we are. And once again, and we've seen this throughout the years, bro, within the family, within friends, especially at work, this is the way we're supposed to do it because we've always done it this way, except for when I'm not the beneficiary.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm willing to bend the rules if something puts me in a better position than what I'm in. We don't have to do it that way if I'm going to benefit from the change.
So let me ask you this, right? This is real rap, you know. It's a guy's show, you know. We try to talk, you know. We talk about a lot of interesting subjects that women enjoy as well. So you know, but we try to shoot it straight from a man's perspective, right? Do you believe, Brother Jay, that if you got a whole live-in, regardless if y'all ex, separated, together still, but trying to break up, and you got a whole live-in, do you believe if you got a whole live-in, you should be dictating terms of dating, such as you like to be courted? Like, how does that work? Does a nigga show up to your house with candy and roses, ring the doorbell, and your husband answers the door?
Look, with a 6-pack for your husband?
What the fuck?
I don't know, man. I don't know what that looks like.
Yo, real talk, man. Like, yo, like for real. Like that's like is that like the
I don't
modus
know.
operandi?
I don't know what that looks like, because you shouldn't even be in the space to where you want to date anyway. If you are no longer married to the person you're living with, right?
Nigga.
That's
if me and my ex-wife was under the same goddamn roof, ain't no way in hell I'm inviting nobody over this jump.
Yeah,
no, nigga, I don't even want to be at I wouldn't even want to be at the goddamn house, brother Jake.
That's weird, bro. That's weird.
But you say, but it's like, nah, but I get it. I got a whole live-in, but I should be courted. Cause that's tradition.
Yeah, I don't know.
Non-traditional space. Like, how does it work, brother Jay?
That's weird. That's weird.
A lot of questions.
I think it's interesting. Once again, people will pick and choose in what areas of their life they want to follow instructions, right? I remember we grew up with a girl who was very religious, and pregnant in high school. And we just like, oh, not Miss Judgmental Judy over here. Like, going to a party. She would show up to a party to tell people that they're not supposed to be doing things. You're not supposed to be drinking. You're not even 21. You should even be doing that and blah, blah, blah. What would God say? God, that makes, and we're just like, bro, you don't bring her no more, bro. Like, shut her up. Then when she was the one that was driving everybody, everyone was going because they needed a ride. But then she was sitting there, why are you listening to that type of music? You shouldn't be doing that and blah, blah, blah. And you shouldn't let him put his hands on you and blah, blah, blah. And she shouldn't be able to say this to you because what would God think? And then shorty popped up pregnant. I said, well, it looks like you had a good summer. Evidently, that was rude. I shouldn't have said that.
Petty.
I was like, what?
Petty.
And then she was like, well, people make mistakes. I said, wow. That's all
for got? But for real, like, it was a mistake in whose eyes?
Regardless of whose eyes it was a mistake in, the fact that you were so easy to say, oh, well, people make mistakes.
Yeah,
but over
that's
here,
what I'm saying.
You was going hard in the paint for somebody drinking tequila under the age of 21. And now it's like, oh, okay, well, people make mistakes and blah, blah, blah. God forgives. That's all you got? All right, sister. All right, Judgmental Judy. Like, I
ain't gonna lie, man. A lot of people, the God that they serve, man, that God don't forgive me as easy as they forgive them.
Hello? I'm just like, wow. But going back
to that, man, the God they serve, man, the God they serve don't really forgive me as easy as they forgive them.
They pick and choose. They pick and choose what part of the religious rules that they're going to follow and religious traditions that they're going to follow and customs and rituals of the church. They pick and choose whatever is convenient for them to do. But the moment you start to get a little itch down there and you need somebody to scratch it, and you just finished telling people they was going to hell because they was going to the school dance and they was dancing and grinding and blah, 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 blah.
They was just acting it out. You wouldn't do it.
And now, now, according to the Bible, you know him. You know him biblically.
Yeah, man. Yo, when I was in Sunday school, man, they kind of put the emphasis on the no. I just chuckle every time.
Yeah,
and he knew her.
Yeah, and so now y'all know each other biblically. And so you went from Bible study to booty call. Wow.
To knowing.
They know.
From studying to knowing.
Yeah, like and now they know. And but people pick and choose. And it's I find it interesting. Like, we gonna push this, we not gonna push this here. But then also, when you get to the root of it, it falls under accountability. That person living with their spouse, but still thinking they can dictate how someone has to traditionally approach them. Ain't nothing wrong. If that's how you feel a person is supposed to court you,
real rap,
by all means, cool. but hold yourself equally accountable for lifting up other traditions in terms of relation with others.
Yeah, because I mean, like, if you want me to come pick you up, then I guess we gotta meet at the Waffle House.
Yeah, like I'm not.
We gotta meet in a public setting. Can't come to your house, can I?
We're not doing that, right?
Flowers,
And so,
candies. Yeah.
now, granted, there may be some people that be like, "Oh, well, I understand," and
Man,
blah,
fuck
blah.
that, nigga. I'm not. Man, you living with a whole nigga, man, and I'm supposed to come up and introduce myself, nigga. Like, this ain't Jody and Melvin from Baby Boy, nigga. This a whole nother new nigga.
You cooking both of us? You making both of us cinnamon rolls in the morning? Like, God, dog. I thought it was 8 in the pack. I can only get 6 because this nigga gotta have 2. Like,
give me a break, man.
It's a lot. When you watching TV, he come down, sit on the couch. What's up, player? What's up, man?
Like,
what's
good?
I can't really get mad at you because this
the game.
This is your house, right?
Yeah,
so
like, what we gonna talk about? You know what I'm saying? Like,
we in this thing together. Wasn't that Al Jarreau?
Yo, bro. Say, oh yeah, man. I brought coffee, man. They left the paper out front.
Hey, man. Your mailman said he was trying to deliver something. Here you go, brother.
Yo, like, but I don't know, man. So, when I heard that, I'm just like, you married to tradition at what cost, though?
Yeah.
God damn. Like, yo, man, supposed to come up and,
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, God forbid you gotta drive for some reason. You know what I'm saying? You gotta ask for the keys to the car. Like, what? Like, how does this thing work?
Y'all still got a joint account? Like, what's this look like? Like, if you
just saying, man.
If you paying for dinner tonight, is another nigga buying my dinner?
Like, is that gonna be a problem?
Is the screen door locked when you get home? Do you gotta knock and ring the door?
People got some nerve. I'm sorry, man. Man, you got a whole live-in. You ain't dictating a goddamn thing to me. I'm sorry. You ain't dictating shit.
But that goes, like I was saying, accountability. If you want to hold me accountable to traditions, then you need to hold yourself accountable to the tradition and get your own. Figure it out.
Man.
Because you're not in the position, I'm going to say this softly. You're not in the position, i.e. having your own space where you can make dictations within traditions. See what I did there? That's wild, bro. So tell your homeboy, yo.
Hey, man, God bless him, man.
When did your homeboy find out that she had a full live-in husband? Before, like, was this via text?
I think that was like when they, I think that was like when they was in the change and she was like, just like the FYI. People say give you a FYI and shit.
A FYI is like, hey, this chicken that if you go to this restaurant, it's gonna be spicy. That's an FYI. A FYI, yo.
Like an FYI,
on my way home, there was a lot of
way,
cops on 95
X.
That's not an FYI.
What now?
And now the question is, are they really divorced?
My nigga.
Or are you trying to get somebody shot up? Like,
my nigga, sound like somebody trying to get somebody killed.
People out of order, bro.
Hey, I'm here to pick up Yolanda. Who the fuck is you? I'm Kevin.
Yo, ride here. No, nigga, no. No, this is a lot.
Bro, man. That's real rap, y'all. Real rap. To everybody in the village, man, that's chopped it up with us in this episode, man. Yo, if you got any like ill stories, like some wild dating shit, that's it. We just gonna call it post-traditional for the sake of this discussion.
PTSD, post-traditional stress disorder.
Post-traditional stress disorder.
What in the hell?
If you've ever had some weird or interesting dating demands when you really didn't think that they probably should be demanding too much in that situation, yo, shout us out, man. I'd be interested to hear your story, man, because I'm just like, it's cool if you want to be courted, but you might want to have your own digs so that the courting goes well and that people don't end up in court for courting. That shit sound like it get you killed, bro. Sound like it get you killed. That's just me. Sound like you get you killed. I don't have no degrees in like criminology, man, and shit that make a jealous lover kill a nigga. That shit right there probably get you killed.
I don't understand. That's a lot, bro.
That's all I got. That's on them ID shows, man. ID and Oxygen, the Snap, all that shit, man. That shit be on there.
Mm.
Yeah.
That could have been an attempt to get him over there, and they rob him.
True.
There's a lot of things that could have.
Well, that's even sadder too. But even still, it's just like, you know, the whole courting thing. But you gotta live in. It's kind of like, all right. So like when you say courting, you know, do I show up with flowers and candy, ring the doorbell, make small talk with your ex-husband/husband, live in? You know, we talk about the weather, sports. Do I wait for you in the car? Do I wait for you in the living room? Do I sit down? Do I stand up? Like, it's a lot of shit. A lot of moving parts there, Brother Jay. A lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
Around tradition that'll get you killed.
Yeah. That's a lot, bro.
Nigga show up at my house, man. Nigga have some explaining to do. I'm just saying. I'm living with... I get it. We ain't together, but nigga show up at my house. He gonna have some explaining to do. And that's just me. So, more to the story is, hey man, if you can court whoever you're courting, man, y'all either meet at a public place or make sure they don't gotta live in. Tradition to get you killed.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's the world we living in, man. It's the world we living in. On that note, welcome to spring, man. Welcome to spring. Get your Zyrtec ready, your Flonase ready, your Allegra ready. And if you're living in denial, you know, that little throat tick, you know how people have that throat tick.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. If you got that, you got allergies, man. Go on get you some Flonase and tighten it up. That ain't sexy. The throat tick. Trust me, I know. I'm not only a client. Oh, man. It's always a pleasure, Brother Jay, man. Always a pleasure, man.
Likewise, my man. Likewise.
On that note, you've just witnessed another edition of the Game Recognized Game podcast with RLJ and Kev. I'm KEV. That's RLJ. And we are the gentlemen advancing the melanin evolution. For evolution is revolution. Till next time, beware the tradition that you subscribe to. Be light within said tradition. And maybe you don't invite a nigga over for a date. You got a whole living.
Bye, nigga. Be light.
Be light.